Hi, my name is Sandy, and this is my unit titled Change Happens. I chose Change Happens because change happens everywhere. It happens with our days of the week, it happens with time, it happens with the weather, it happens when animals go to hibernate or when they go somewhere to get away from the winter. Everything changes, and that's my unit title Change Happens. So, the first thing I like to look at is the calendar. Here we have on the calendar, yesterday was, today is, tomorrow will be. Here we understand that every day it changes. It was one day, now it's another, and tomorrow it will be something completely different. When we look at the calendar, we can ask the students open-ended questions to allow them to think about the changes that they're seeing before them. We can ask them, yesterday was, today is, well, what will tomorrow be? These questions allow the students to take the time to figure out what was yesterday, what is today, and what will tomorrow be. Another thing on an interactive math calendar is teaching the students more, fewer, greater than, and less than. Here I chose to use pictures. You can also use sentence stems. It just depends on what grade you would like to teach. For me, it will be first grade. So I think I would use both because this allows students whose reading skills may not be on level, but you still want them to participate every morning. So you can use the sentence stems and you can use the pictures. Here we have more. How many oranges do we have? On top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many are on the bottom? 1, 2. Which one has more? And you can continue these questions. Students can find things around the room. How many girls are there? How many boys are there? How many fewer girls are there than boys? You can just change these around and ask students in different ways. Allow them to turn and talk and try to see if they can come up with a question that has fewer, more, greater than, or less than. It's also good to use it in a sentence stem. This, you just take a sentence strip, laminate it, and then write this down. Use an Expo marker so that students can easily be erased, or sticky pads. One more than blank is blank. One less than blank is 124. Here you can see that I gave the students this last number, and they have to come up with the first number. This allows them to think beyond, and I'm not just giving them all the answers. You can also use your 10 frame to continue with the understanding of more, fewer, greater than, and less than. Here you can see that we build on our 10 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it continues. We can ask questions like, which number is greater than 17? Which number is less than 5? Which number is more than 3? This is a great way to continue on with teaching more, fewer, greater than, and less than. You can also look at the calendar and we could talk about patterns. Here we have big bear, big bear, big bear. Little bear, big bear. What would be the next two bears in the pattern? Please compute the pattern. This allows students also to think for themselves. Give them some think time, at least a few seconds. Don't rush them. As we continue, we see more things on 10 frames. Here's a question on how many more are needed to make 20. You can elaborate on this as students seem to struggle and say, how many more are needed to make 20 if I have 10? How many more are needed to make 20 if I have 15? You can continue this using several different sentences and prompting students when needed. Another thing that we have on the interactive math calendar is our clock. As you can see, the clock is numbered two different ways. On the inside, the clock is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. However, on the outside, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and so on. This is used so the students can not only learn how to tell time, but they also can learn how to count by fives. So it's a great way to do both of those things at the same time. I like to do my clock in increments of 5 just so the kids can get very familiar with counting by 5, since this is the first grade and it is one of their teeth. So if we look at the time on here, it's 7:30. If I moved my hands up, I would probably only move it to 7:35 so the students can continue to count by 5. Here is a game that I would also use in my station. This game is called Pinch and Total. Here we have Expo markers, a plastic tub, makeup sponges as eraser. These are very great because they can easily be thrown in the wash and dried, and you can use them over and over again. The tub comes from the dollar store, and so does the makeup sponge. So this is very simple and very easy to make. The Pinch and Total papers you can print from the internet or create them on a Word document. I suggest you put them in a sheet protector or get them laminated so you can use them over and over again. The directions are also very simple. Students take some coins between their fingers. They pinch them. They drop them down and then they count to see what coins they have. First thing they need to do is they're going to draw their coins on their paper. So this student had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nickels. Then the student had 1, 2, 3 pennies, giving them a total of 28 cents. This game is very good because, one, it allows the students to recognize the coin. Then it allows them to recognize the value of the coin. And then they have to add the coins up. This is very good because it hits several of the teaks in a fun and active manner. The next game that I created was called Critter Roundup. This game was also done very inexpensively using things I found at the dollar store. Here we have little critters that I found at the dollar store. Some spiders, frogs, turtles, different little things. Preferably things that have lots of eyes, toes, legs, something that the students can count. Then I got these little buckets. These are called bug carriers. And they came with tweezers. So what a student would do is use the tweezers, pick up one of the critters. Then they would answer the question, how many legs does the critter have? In this instance, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then they would go to their board and they would find the answer. I put the numbers in random order. This allows the students not to just know where the number's at, but work on their number recognition and ordering, since the numbers are placed in random form. If the student gets it correct, they get to drop it in their bug carrier. Critter Roundup is a great way to integrate science and math. This lesson can also be modified for GT students. You can just take a Word document, click on Insert, and put a couple of spiders, some frogs, some turtles, and then pose the question to the GT students or other high students. Have students determine how many critters, toes, or legs. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 spiders. How many legs do you see? Then we have 2 frogs. How many toes do you see? This lesson can also be modified for those students who need special assistance.